Hey m.u.g.e.n community, this is Pulloff here with a video tutorial on how to become a good sprite artist, or a successful sprite artist, an amazing sprite artist. I'm going to do this little introduction. I'm going to make it as quickly as possible because I want to move straight into the action. I hate tutorials that take 15-20 minutes a video because I gotta watch a lot of them, and I think we can all agree on that. So let's just get started. So this is Alucard. I use my first character. I know what you're thinking. Whoa. And you'd be right, because this was not quick. This took a long time. Especially when you didn't know I didn't know how to use Fighter Factory yet or anything like that. I just knew how to sprite. This is my second character. I made Raven from Teen Titans. This is I don't know why anybody has never made this version of her before. It was just egging me on, so I had to make her. Okay, so what I usually see people doing is this. So they have Ken or Ryu or whatever, and they'll take a character that already exists from a sprite sheet, they'll import it to the sprite maker or program, and they'll overlay it with the face and the arms, and go all the way down to the feet. They say it says Captain Planet or whatever they're making. I also see this with newbie or youngsters that are trying to make Mugen characters, and oh, I know how to code a little bit, so I'll make this joke character. And for some reason it gets so many friggin' downloads, and it just drives me up the wall because I'm like, how did this get all these downloads? It's just the commodity of the entire thing. It's a joke character. No one's gonna take it seriously. Nobody actually really loves this character beyond, hey, this character is kooky, look at it. Moving on, what you're gonna need for this tutorial is a sprite making program. Look it up on YouTube. If you just type in sprite making program, you're gonna get tons and tons and tons and tons of results. Each video is gonna have tons of different recommendations of what you can use. A lot of them are free. The one I use is not free, Photoshop, but I've used this for so long, so this is what I'm comfortable with. And I can also palette before you can bring it into the Fighter Factory, which is a huge bonus for me personally. Next is Google. Use Google Images specifically. You're gonna need a lot of reference for your characters. The more references you have, the more you're gonna know what your character's doing, what their clothes are doing. It's gonna be easier for you in the long run if you understand it. If you just try and hide limbs behind clothes, it's not gonna work out. It's gonna look weird. It's gonna look off, and it's not gonna look visually impressive. So you definitely want references. I usually end up collecting about at least 100 references just for a single character. You're gonna use a stepping tool to capture these references. So every Windows computer has the stepping tool. So go to your little search bar down at the bottom left, and you type in stepping tool, and it's literally right there. Hit no. You're gonna drag and click and drag, and save your image to whatever directory you decide on. Go to YouTube. That is a very powerful second to Google Images. If you need an animation, you need references for certain frames, a certain angle, how the back of a cloak or a shirt or whatever is going to look, YouTube is going to be your best friend, or second best friend. Everybody has one, except for me. Just kidding. So next is Fighter Factory 3. You're going to be using this it's mostly just for coding the character, but you're also going to be using to set up the animation and everything like that, for paletting, things like that nature. And you're going to use Mugen for testing the character or just playing the character, which I'm sure you know about these two already. If you don't know this one, you at least know about the Mugen engine. You're going to be wanting a tablet or a Surface. I prefer the tablet just because it's cheaper. The Surface is going to be really, really expensive. What you don't want to use is a mouse, unless you're the best mouse user in the world, and try it out, see if it works. But for the gesture drawing, you're probably going to need the Wacom pen, or just some sort of pen. A digital pen. I usually go Wacom tablets, just as my go-to. You're gonna need a lot of time and a lot of practice. And I usually spend, the most I've ever spent on animation was 14 hours, including bathroom breaks and eating, and I had to go to the store, blah blah blah. It was 14 hours. And you're gonna be practicing a lot, especially if you're new at it. and I'll be showing you pretty soon what you have to practice, what you have to really get used to in order to make the sprites the way that I make them, to make them look awesome. So you're gonna have to learn gesture drawing. Gesture drawing is extremely powerful. So the skeleton is everything when it comes to any sort of drawing, any sort of art. Unless you're like painting in the 17th century, something like that, you're gonna want gesture drawing. It's basic fundamentals, and if you don't have the fundamentals down, if you don't have the base down, if you're gonna build something on shaky foundations, the whole thing's gonna collapse. It's not gonna look right. It's gonna look wrong. You just wasted your time. Your time is valuable. Make no mistake, your time is very valuable. So you're going to be working on the outline, aka the skeleton. After that, you build the Geoman off of the skeleton. I'll go further into detail of that whole thing as I'm making the sprites. You're also going to be learning the 8-head technique. The 8-head technique is just the sizes of a head throughout the entire body. So this is one size. It's the same. The head is the same shape, or excuse me, the same size, the same height as from here to here, from here to here, so on and so forth. And the 9-head technique, you're going to be, you may learn, not from me, you'll be learning it if you take a career in art, in whatever capacity. I have a bachelor's in game art and design. So the 9 heads you're going to be seeing with 3 things. You're going to be seeing it with Marvel, in comic books with Marvel. DC uses 8 heads, Marvel uses 9. You're going to be seeing it with anime, and you're also going to be seeing it with fashion design, because the reason why is because 9 heads, they focus on the body and the clothes. The outfit is everything with 9 heads, but with 8 heads, it's more about the face. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do what I do. The first one is the way I made Alucard. I had a sprite sheet already, so I was able to use that as reference. So I could actually see how low the skirt is going from the shin, where the sleeve goes from the bicep, and this, that, and the other. The reason why I didn't necessarily go with here is just because this is concept art. It's a little bit past concept art. But I want to go with the actual gameplay. So whereas her skirt's down ends on her shins, you can see her gowns and right here is ending just where her, I guess, right before the feet hits the floor. And I'm also going to use this as I like the hues and the shades. I would probably just brighten this up to match this so that I can get the entire body. And the other way I'm going to show you how to do this is if you don't have a sprite sheet, if you don't have anything to go by, you gotta dig a little deeper to get the references you need. So this is Yuna from Final Fantasy X. This is the front view of her, and I specifically chose the front view of her because it's more difficult to getting any information. So fighting characters, they're looking like out this way, like imagine an arrow going out that way. It's a 3/4 view. This is the front view, 3/4 view, and then a side view, just get the side of the face and everything. I'll show you how to get the 3/4 view. There's a way to do it just by getting this, but it's very technical. I don't like doing it. I usually just find a reference that is a 3/4 view or a side view. A side view is gonna make it easier on you to get the 3/4 view. I know how the shoulders are gonna look at an angle if it's from the side view. It's just a little bit easier. Alright, so with that in mind, let's hop into the actual live demonstration. So I'll see you in a bit.